Hello everyone, we present the results of practical research on a topic, an approach for processing and document flow automations for Microsoft Word and LibreOffice Writer file formats. The development of technologies in the modern world has begun to cover almost all aspects of human life. Business is one of those areas. Businesses all over the world work every day with a large number of important documents that need to be processed properly. Medicine is also an equally important area. Doctors works with a large number of different documents, from contract with doctors and medical certificates to timesheets and other organizational forms. Also, working with patients is no less important. Filling out electronic patient forms is much easier than filling out paper documents. Education also works with a large number of documents. This may include reports, notebooks, various forms required for school documentation. Document automation is a complex problem. The transfer of paper documents requires firstly a centralized system for storing documents and secondly a system for processing these documents. At first glance it may seem that manual processing of documents is much faster because you can take an already made document and change the data in it. However, this approach seems deceptively effective. According to the research department of McKinsey Global Institute, an international consulting company, McKinsey & Company, that from 9 to 26% of working time can be saved with automation, and by 2013 up to 30% of current workflows will be displaced with median of 15%, equivalent to about 400 million full working days. The formats we plan to work with are Microsoft Word and LibreOffice Writer. Considering the different methods of document automation for this word processor, we focused on the two most efficient and functional. Let's take a look at the first approach. Processing a document seems like a simple task. A general algorithm for this may be the following. Get a template, which is have to distinguish the beginning and the end of the keyword from a regular word. Go through the text, find relevant keywords and replace them, save the document. Everything seems easy in terms of implementation, but if it were, then our study would be over. But everything is not that easy. For instance, let's create two documents of docx and odt format and insert one keyword. Now let's take a look at the XML code. The first will be Microsoft Word document. As you can see, the keyword, despite the fact that it has been specified as a whole and under the same formatting, was split into two parts. Now let's take a look at the LibreOffice Writer document. Here, as you can see, everything is well preserved. Now let's insert another keyword to both documents. The procedure for reviewing documents will be the same. You can see that Microsoft Word split the structure into even more text and split the second keyword into three parts. At the LibreOffice Writer, we see a different situation. The second keyword was split not even into individual text but into pieces of text and also divided into three different parts. Considering this issue, this causes difficulties in document processing algorithm because depending on various factors, keyword can be split into a large number of individual texts. The second method we chose was LibreOffice UNO API or LibreOffice SDK. LibreOffice SDK is specialized libraries that allow you to work with almost all functionality of LibreOffice product. They offer interfaces for various programming languages including Java, Python, C++, and BASIC. The basic principle of this API is that it simulates the work with graphic interface of the LibreOffice. Therefore, the graphic interface is launched and all actions are performed automatically, just as they could have been performed by a user. The following example will be shown in Java programming language. Considering the functionality of the LibreOffice SDK, you can see that this library works with almost all possible components, but it's not as simple as it seems. You can see on the slide the simplest example of use, but at first glance it doesn't seem simple at all. In general, all this code does is open a text document in LibreOffice Writer. As you can see, strange and unusual design are used. Such code is not intuitive, and this even considers the fact that it has been simplified for better understanding. As discussed earlier, the document automation tools have issues that need to be solved. In general, our library provides several different levels of working with documents. The first approach solves the problem of XML document processing. It works quite easily and clearly. A special class is created for processing documents. It required to specify the document as well as how to distinguish keyword. In the end, we get found templates and corrected document where all keywords are no longer split. The second example shows a simplified approach to working with documents using the LibreOffice SDK. Methods and names are intuitive. In this example, we replace the search keyword with a value. Also, save the document in the desired format. The third example highlights the work with the lower level of API. At this level of API, the source components of LibreOffice are hidden, so you can work with their alternative simplified versions. In this example, we find the first word and, then select the entire text from the beginning of the sentence to that word and center it. The library also implements a low-level API that allows you to work with source classes of the library LibreOffice SDK. Also, it's worth noting that each simplified component for work retains the corresponding UNO component, so if necessary, you can always implement the additional operation yourself. Also, the library supports additional functionality using interfaces and classes. The other part of Lycorse ecosystem is the cloud service, which allows users to work with documents easier. The front-end part of the project is created by using JavaScript and TypeScript. Vue.js 3 was chosen as the main framework for creating single-page application. Webpack was used from a modular system, and Babel was used as a JavaScript compiler. On this slide, you can see an example of cloud service, more precisely a document management page. And also, on this page, you can upload documents, manage them, and also generate forms. In general, forms are special pages that are generated automatically according to the keyword of the document. And after filling out the forms, the document is generated and sent to the client. The backend part was developed by using the Spring framework and the Java programming language. Security is implemented using the special filters that intercept each request and check the token. JWT or JSON Web Token technology was chosen as a token. Developer can approach the service using the developed REST API. The backend part is divided into 3 separate microservices. This architecture is used to reduce the load on each of them and simplify the work. The first microservice is focused on working with tokens and user login or registration. The second microservice deals with document processing and saving documents. The third microservice is responsible for document processing using the developed library. On this slide, you can see the result of testing our library using different parts of it. Looking at the result of XML code processing, you can see that the number of keywords has almost no effect on processing speed and depends only on the number of split keywords. Processing using the library LibreOffice SDK is definitely much slower, but it's compensated by the functionality. An interesting situation happened while processing 10,000 keywords for both types of document. As you can see, 100 keywords took 1.8 seconds, which is not so big, but processing 1,000 keywords took 5 seconds on average. However, processing 10,000 keywords took 3 minutes and 30 seconds. If we take into account the results of processing 1,000 keywords, we could assume that processing will take 10 times more, which is about a minute. But the result is 3 minutes. Analyzing the problem, we can assume that it occurs because LibreOffice Writer takes some time to display or render elements, as in case of ODT file has 219 pages and docx file has 313 pages. This number of pages affects the speed of processing and rendering the document. Thank you for your attention.